Introducing the most powerful force in the wrestling world.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the H&J show. You got the real team of the H&J, not that imposter Jamie, which she knows I appreciate her stepping in for me, because I was out at an event I helped co-run, and I got this.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So you are of an age where you remember the Animaniacs, right?
Yeah. There's been a new series, and it's not as good.
It's not. But you know Pinky and the Brain, right?
Love Pinky and the Brain.
All right. Well, the guy that drew them from Warner Brothers and still draws them for Warner Brothers, O.G. Lewis, that's a piece of his artwork.
Nice.
I also got my character done by him, so I've been drawn by the same guy that draws Pinky and the Brain.
Cool. I like that.
Yeah.
I call it Pinky and the Brain.
Say that again. I only understood Pinky and the Brain.
I call the kids Pinky and the Brain.
Let me guess.
Not because Zach's clever and Alana's thick or anything, just because she's tall and gangly and he's short with a fat head.
You see, I was going to think that Alana would be the Brain.
No, they look. They look like Pinky and the Brain.
Which I talked to OG about, like, the theory that Brain's not actually the smart one.
Mm.
He's like, well, I like to think that they're just imagining everything in their little lab environment. That they never leave the lab and they're just so doped up on drugs.
Yeah. That's not a bad shout, actually. We may need to pause at some point because I don't know if the father-in-law is going to come here or there when he gets back. But that's just a heads up. Because everyone else is getting ready for dinner now.
Yeah, it always seems like dinner time for you, tea time.
Well, if we're here, it's usually 4 o'clock at Nana's house down the road, so I get that lot going. I can sit and record with you for a bit.
So let's kick off with probably the funniest news story this week, for me at least. Blake Monroe. That is Mariah May's new name, right?
Yes. I'm not sure. I haven't seen much news this week.
I have to Google it to double check. Yep, Blake Monroe is her name in the WWE. It's also the name of a porn star from about 30 years ago.
Brilliant.
Yes. I mean, you would think WWE would have better...
Just, yeah, a simple Google first.
I'll defend them on that Googling first. I Googled Blake Monroe. It's all Mariah May and, like, one football person. And it's, like, end of results.
Oh.
So,
I was but before you used that, surely. Oh, yeah, there it is on the sun. Caught a neighbour's glamorous new wrestler was accidentally named after a porn star.
but, I mean, this isn't the first time WWE's did stuff. They had... Was it Viking Raiders was War Machine, and they didn't want to use... They actually knew not to use it because of that UFC fighter.
Yeah.
The Paige, Charlotte, Becky tag team, PCB. And I want to say there was one or two other times where they accidentally named something off of a not so safe for work thing.
Yeah, yeah, they will. There'll have been plenty of times that they've done it, and you know, it's funny when they do.
Yeah, but like it's better when they do it on purpose because at least then you know, like
Yeah,
WCW. Um, they had somebody who was like Hugh G. Rectus or something like that.
yes, huge erection
Yeah, and then there was
or
Hugh
something.
Morris
Yeah,
at
something like yeah. I'm sure it was huge. Yeah, huge erection. It was build him up.
yeah. That's the person I was saying, but I was also seeing him as like his more. I don't want to say monstrous persona, but like his more like charactered, where he
Mm,
had the mask and stuff.
yeah,
I think he was the first big man I seen to do a moonsault because I don't think I remember watching Vader beforehand.
yeah.
And then there was in TNA some twins that they had a dick joke to.
That's ringing a bell. Um, I can't remember it.
Oh, we're both going to the Google machine for that.
Yeah, but you're probably gonna Google a bit more.
So, whatculture.com, I found the Johnsons. No dick jokes.
Dick and
I'll
Rod.
look it over. Dick and Rod Johnson.
Yeah, they are the Shane twins. Well, yeah, they were Dick and Rod.
So fitting how we start off talking about Mariah May accidentally being named after a porn star, and then we go into dick jokes.
Yeah, best way.
So I'm going to transition to the next cool thing I got this last weekend by a vendor of ours called Gothic Candles and Woodworks, which, don't worry, folks, I have a plan on how it transitions into another story.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, the guy I bought it off of made it himself, but what wrestler would come to mind with that?
See, I immediately thought Darby Allin,
Ouch. I feel old now.
but you've also there's Taker, and yeah, I'd I'd probably have a pretty cool display for in shelves in the bottom of that.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to just put like little Happy Meal toys in the bottom of it, to be honest. Um, but no, my thought was Undertaker casket. Turns out
Yeah.
Michelle McCool and Taker have their new podcast, and I read this morning that Michelle has saved Undertaker's life twice.
Oh,
Yeah, once he was choking on a steak, and the other was just as recently as WrestleMania 41. He had some heart issues going on and had to have surgery. I believe it was after WrestleMania or right before. Like basically, he should not have been in there at WrestleMania, but he was.
yeah.
Like his heart was stuck in AFib, and they would shock it out of AFib. It would last for like max 48 hours, and then go right back in.
Christ.
So yeah, if you like the Undertaker and you're glad he's still around, thank Michelle McCool.
Mm. I mean, that'd have been one way to go, wouldn't it? The Undertaker choked to death on a piece of meat.
Oh, that would have been hilarious. I mean, death is hilarious at times, but like this big, larger than life, badass superstar chokes to death.
Taken down by a bit of dead cow.
That would be a fun little thing to research, like all the weird deaths of wrestlers. Because like we know they died young. A lot of them died in car crashes back in the territory days.
Yeah, there's a lot of car crashes, a lot of heart attacks, everything covered by Dark Side of the Ring. But there's not many I can think of that have been particularly weird. Although I know there is a Wikipedia article for this. What is it? Yeah, Wikipedia list of premature professional wrestling deaths. Has them by name, by age, promotion, date of birth, date of death, and cause of death. So I'm pretty certain if you scroll down there, that's where you'll find the odd ones. But got head injury during match, leukemia, suicide, car crash, struck in a hit and run, suicide, complications from gastric bypass surgery. I don't even need to scroll across to the name to know that's mass transit. Drowned in bath, possibly suicide, head injury in match, tuberculosis, but that is someone from 1881. So, yeah, fair enough. Motorcycle accident. Oh, Shane Shamrock, shot by police.
Not really all that weird, unless he was like naked running down the street being like, I am God. I mean,
yeah. Overdose, murder, overdose, heart attack, head injury, plane crash. Yeah. There's not really any that stand out. They're all suicide, heart attack, and overdose.
yeah, but with those suicides, it doesn't say how they're committing suicide.
Oh, some do.
Oh,
So, like, you've got suicide by gunshot, and there's a few that are just suicide by drug overdose and alcohol poisoning. Oh, Buzz Sawyer, cocaine-induced heart attack. Drowning in a boat accident, cancer, heart attack, overdose, heart attack, car crash, heart attack, motorcycle accident, suicide, confrontation with police, overdose, suicide, aneurysm, car crash, suicide. Yeah. Nope. Fell from ceiling during botched stunt.
okay,
I know
I wonder who that could have been.
That's Owen Hart. Yeah. Murder by poisoning.
Okay, that one sounds interesting.
La Parquita.
I don't know.
Dwarf La Parka.
Okay, that makes it sound even more interesting.
Oh, it gets better. Alberto Perez Jimenez, along with his twin brother Alejandro, also a professional midget wrestler under the name of Espectro 2, were found murdered. It was reported the two brothers checked into a hotel after a Sunday night show. Allegedly, two female prostitutes approached them and invited back to their hotel, where the two women spiked the men's drinks with what was supposed to be believed with eye drops mixed with alcohol. The drinks were supposed to knock them out, but because they were midgets, they died.
See, I was wondering if they used like half the poison for each, but no, they just used 2 full doses.
Yeah, no, they just did it and it went wrong. Yeah, that's the weird one for today. I'm not scrolling any further.
Yeah, no, I mean,
it seems like poison Parker.
Yeah, that's sad, but it's also kind of funny. Yes, we're morbid folks. It just is. So something not so morbid. something where they're going to have another pseudonym. The Miz is hosting a revival of American Gladiator. It's going to be on Prime TV.
Cool.
I mean, I know British Gladiator had Magnus.
Yes.
Yeah, I can't think of what he's going by
Nick
now.
Aldis.
Nick. Oh,
Nick Aldis.
yeah. I just couldn't think of that. Which apparently that's having a little bit of troubles because let me pull up that screenshot I took of who all's the gladiators, and I'll just read it straight from that website. The Miz will have 5 professional wrestlers, keeping the show's contenders in check. Eric Bugenhagen, a.k.a. Rick Boogs. Michael Wardlow, a.k.a. Wardlow. Jesse Goddard's, a.k.a. Mr. Pectacular. And if I could pop pecs, I would totally pop pecs right now. Jessica Roden, a.k.a. the Ultimate Athlete, J-Rod. I don't know who the fuck she is.
No.
And Kaylee Latimer, a.k.a. Camille. And that's all over the website, so I'm not going to give any direct source for where I found that from. I think it was like Wrestle Talk. But like I said, it's all over, so.
I'm on the Gladiators TV site now. Yeah, Rick Boogs. Oh, there's like athlete, coach, fitness model, fitness and life coach, former Division 1 football player. Sporting background currently remains undisclosed. Interesting. Got as American football, bodybuilding, Wardlow. Yeah.
Jordan Pill, I think, is one of the gladiators who doesn't have an Instagram. A lot of the stuff was just linked to their Instagram website. But yeah, when they made the American Gladiator, they're like, oh, we didn't realize there might be an issue with a WWE guy, an AEW guy, OVW guy, and a NWA woman all appearing on the same show.
Could be interesting.
Yeah.
I like Gladiators.
Say that again?
I like Gladiators. I used to love watching that.
Man, I loved it also. It used to be get up real early. It'd be American Gladiators and then wrestling, WWF. Nice. Or it might have been WWF, then American Gladiators. I don't remember which. But they were back to back. I used to love watching them. All I can remember is Nitro's name, but like, I want to say they had a Helga or something. Like, she was this big old scary buff German girl. She wore lederhosen. Like,
oh, brilliant!
She would kick your ass.
Speaking of terrifying women, did you see Maya Lesnar broke that shot put record first attempt?
I did see that. Yes, she is terrifying.
Yes. Brock's genetics really took over there.
Yeah. Whereas many would hope it would have been Sable's genetics.
Yeah, it's Brock with boobs.
I mean, Brock already had like pecs, which are boobs, so.
Yeah, well, I mean, that tattoo accentuated them a bit.
Yeah, let's hope she doesn't get any bad tattoos. Which, I mean, that's Fozzie's song, so that can be the only bad tattoo she can get.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. First thing I saw the other morning, I woke up, opened my phone, I was like, oh, what's that? In record breaking, I was like, right. It's Lesnar genetics. Never mind.
Yeah, I woke up this morning and I didn't. Somehow my phone's gotten out of wrestling mode. Like, it used to be almost all wrestling, and now it's like other random stuff, not wrestling. It's like my YouTube algorithms altered, and it's now not half of what I liked watching. Um,
I've got two different algorithms going on for YouTube. My tablet and my phone both have completely different things on. But sometimes, like, if I want to watch, I'll be watching something on my tablet downstairs. I'm like, I've got to leave that charging. I'll carry on watching this on my phone. Can I find that without having to search specifically for the video then? Because, different algorithm.
is it
Like,
not
if
the
I
same?
open my phone, if I open it on my tablet now, it's mostly going to be like video games and bits of Warhammer 40k lore. I open it on my phone. I've got NFL hot mic moments, MMA stuff, Forging Damascus Steel, wrestling botches.
All right.
Yeah.
You mentioned Warhammer 4K. I read a Reddit post a couple of months ago now, and people were speculating that those little things hanging off of Cesaro's jacket are
Yes, they are.
related to those.
Yeah, they're what are they called? Purity seals.
Okay, yeah, I didn't remember, but I was like, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's see if my phone will.
But yeah, that Redditor was speculating that
No.
as Moxley does things Cesaro doesn't like, he's losing his purity seals because he had far more than he has now. It probably could just be like they fall off during events and stuff. But like they're like when storyline could be when he runs out of purity seals, he turns on Mox. But yeah, it was just fan booking stuff.
I'm just looking at one of the yeah. It looks like they are. Huh, that's pretty cool. Can't make out what the stamp is in his ink though. In the wax.
Surely he's not got those put on by wax. I thought he had them on by like safety pin.
Well, there'll be pins, but the red bit at the top's like a designed like a wax seal. With the
Yeah,
like the old letter seal with the stamp. I can't make out what's in the stamp.
probably doesn't matter. Where it's like the most thing that matters to it.
Oh, it'll be properly obscure because I could read one then and read like the writing on one of them. And it's something about like I am the hammer, so probably Imperial Fists or something.
And
Yeah,
then
I'm a bit too nerd there.
the only other thing I have for today that I can remember and caught my attention, Beast Mortos. Passed the law, or passed the bar exam.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay,
Got an overall 8.03 on it.
cool. So if I ever want a lawyer to get me off for something, who then, when I get found not guilty, will put on a giant fucking bull mask and backflip off a table.
Maybe. Which, have you seen his new mask? It's pretty badass.
No, I don't think I have.
Yeah, he's gone now for a white one, and the horn's now a little more in. It looks a little more manageable, but he's got the white braided stuff, which actually brings me up to something else. Like, LFI won't be at the massive Arena Mexico show because of CMLL and their.
Oh yeah, I like the new one.
Yeah, CMLL won't let LFI wrestle at the Arena Mexico show because of the cross promotion only using their luchadors thing.
Ah,
Sucks. Really, it does.
yeah. I mean, There's only one luchador that matters at the moment. It's
Who?
Mr. Iguana. It's Mr. Iguana, man.
Yeah. Which apparently
I'm so happy that he's blown up and he's everywhere and like I saw links to buy the iguana puppet that he uses, and I've seen like WWE doing t-shirts and all sorts of shit. I'm so happy because because I've watched quite a bit of AAA, I already knew that weirdness existed. But then to see him on that bigger stage for everyone else like on Earth that watched it to go, that's amazing. I'm like, yes, it is.
And I mean, I haven't bought into the Mr. Iguana bubble yet. He's just there. He looks interesting.
He is quite good. I saw it was Danhausen that posted a photo with him because everyone was obviously, oh, we need you with Danhausen or whatever.
Yeah, Danhausen's contracts.
Danhausen and Captain Lizard have already met. Stop yelling at me.
Yeah, it seems to be something like WWE is missing. They always have that one like out there person. Like I'd seen a poster where it's like Santino Marella in the Snake versus Mr. Iguana and the Iguana.
Yeah. Yeah, they've not got that, just that proper gone, like, mental bit. Like, they had Gold Dust for years or Santino and
R-Truth was even that out there for a bit. But then
R-Truth does spectacular comedy work. I'm quite interested with his, like, haircut and keeps jumping Cena thing, though.
Well, apparently he's going to have a match with Cena next week on SmackDown.
Ah.
Which, if we watched one of the other shows we put out, the WWE reviews, we would know this stuff.
Yeah, I have not. I also haven't watched the actual shows. Or I think the last thing I watched was everything last Saturday while me and Jamie were away. We did TNA, Worlds Collide, and Money in the Bank. It was a good time to not have the kids 3 pay-per-views in 2 days.
I caught up on AEW. I deleted all but like the latest episode of NXT. Same with SmackDown. Still haven't caught up on Raw with it being on Netflix. Like it doesn't click. Go to Raw on Netflix, and like Becky Lynch is back. I like Becky Lynch. Goldberg's back on Raw.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, he's building towards his retirement match.
Oh yeah, of course, that Atlanta weekend thing, innit?
Yeah. So
do we know who he's having yet?
Not yet. But I'm not.
It's going to be a break in a minute.
I'm not too interested. I mean, I remember watching Goldberg starting his streak and everything back as a kid. But I'm going to be in Texas. I'm going to be watching All In AEW. I'm going to be at StarCast. I finally bought tickets for that.
Yeah. It's that weekend, isn't it?
Yeah. And I'm not saying it'll happen, but StarCast may lose a sign like they did at Nashville.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. So I have a StarCast 5 sign that says this way. It was one of the signs pointing to the thing. Literally outside the venue where they're trying to get you to the main door. My dad, I told my dad because he went with me. I was like, I really like those signs. They're going to just throw them away after the event. I kind of want one. He's like, well, you can go get you one. He was thinking after the StarCast event, I'd go get one. I'm like, yeah, sure, I can. So I go walk up to this middle median right in their parking area, pick up the sign, walk back. I'm like, hey, is your car unlocked? What? I didn't mean you to take it out. I'm like, hey, well, why not? Someone else will. So we threw it in the back of his truck. And so I have a
Nice.
StarCast 5 this way sign over there. I'm not going to get it out because it's buried. Yeah.
I used to do that with tour posters when I was leaving the venues. It'd just be there in like the clip frames. We're like, no way of looking around. Well, well, quite like that one. Pop. There we go.
I did that with a Star Set poster. Me and a friend had went, and Star Set's a really cool band. But their concerts are immersive, and they had a augmented reality app and stuff where you look at or you scan their poster and it takes you into a little story on the show or the app. And I was like, "Ooh, I like that poster." The friends that was with me was like, "Oh, I want that poster." I'm like, "Okay, so let's get them." And like midway between or during the performance, not even midway. I think it was the performance hadn't even started. Both of us took the posters down.
They are. Um, do, do, do. They are actually at download, which is happening now. I never. They played on Friday.
You talking about Starset?
Yeah. It was the Scratch Dirty Honey North Lane Star Set, and then Miles Kennedy from Alter Bridge, Opeth, and with him Temptation on the second stage on Friday night.
Their song "My Demons" and "Diving Bell" are amazing to me. And then
I've never, for them being that high up on the second stage, I've never heard of them.
they had like one big hit somewhere. I can't even remember. It was "My Demons" or "Demons," whatever their thing is.
My dears.
Yeah, it was like one
Um,
big
I
hit.
don't even recognize the video. Hmm. Well, I've got my headphones with me. I'll throw that on for the walk to Nana's before I have my dinner.
the The violin player they had when they played the Blue Diamond, I think it was that I went to in Oklahoma City. She was amazing. But
I
they're
mean,
this
it's
dystopian
an
based.
insanely hard instrument to play anyway.
They're in a dystopian themed rock band, and
Yeah.
they have a book called Transmissions. Also,
How I have never heard of this band, I do not know. Yeah,
well, H, I'm
yeah,
glad I could stump you.
yeah. Literally never heard of them. Hmm. Jesus. Yeah, I'll have a look at that. Hmm.
Now, there's another little band you may have or may not have heard of, but their lead singer just died. It's called the Beach Boys.
Oh yeah, yeah. I saw
Well, when I was heard the news, I heard them playing a Beach Boys song, but they were talking about some local Tulsa woman at the same time, and so I
that.
didn't realize Brian Wilson had passed until the next day. I woke up, I'm scrolling through, and I'm like, Brian Wilson died yesterday. What? Why wasn't that on the news? And then it clicked. Oh, they were talking about him also.
Yeah, yeah. Along with the local news.
Which he was the only original Beatles, or not Beatles, the only original Beach Boy member that I hadn't seen in concert.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Well, actually, I can't say that because they had their one cousin die back in the 60s. So I can't say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen Frank Love and two or three of the other members in concert. And the only one that was still performing in live from that original lineup was Brian Wilson that I hadn't met or seen. So,
Speaking of final concerts, Have you seen the lineup for that Ozzy Osbourne and Black Sabbath one?
No, I haven't because like I'm not saying they're not good, but Black Sabbath just never clicked with me.
It's the it's Ozzy's final bow or whatever it is they're putting it as. But they've put on like the craziest thing I've ever seen at Villa Park in Birmingham, stone's throw from where they were all born. And they've now confirmed that it is streaming because, of course it is. So you've got the original four members of Sabbath. So Geezer Butler, Tony Iommi, Ozzy Osbourne, Bill Ward. Bill Ward's the only one I've not seen live with Sabbath. But there is also performances from Black Sabbath, Ozzy Osbourne, Metallica, Slayer, Pantera, Gojira, Alice in Chains, Hailstorm, Lamb of God, Anthrax, and Mastodon. Additional performances from Billy Corgan, David Draiman from Disturbed. I think this is an old poster because they've now confirmed Guns N' Roses. I think Jonathan Davis from Korn, Jake E. Lee, their old guitarist. Fred Durst was on the poster. Yeah, Tom Morello, Wolfgang Van Halen. That is the old poster. Because I think they've since confirmed that the show is being hosted by Jason Momoa and Jack Black's there doing something as well.
My big question there is, do we get a Duff McKagan joke of the week? As Chris Jericho says it.
No, I haven't got any Duff McKagan jokes, unfortunately.
Man, his last joke for Talking to Jericho sucked. Like, it was but it sucked real bad. I don't even remember it. It was that bad.
Although, ignoring his stuff with Guns N' Roses, I do own one Duff McKagan solo album. It is that long, so I recognise the cover. It is Believe in Me from 1993. I'm now looking at the track listing. See if any of it does something in my head to go, oh yeah, that was a good tune. I'm not remembering a single track. But also, is it really a Duff McKagan solo album? Or is it just Guns N' Roses without Axl Rose? Because the first track featuring Slash. The fourth track featuring Matt Sorum, the drummer. The fifth track featuring Dizzy Reed, the guitarist that isn't Slash. Track 6 featuring Slash.
I'd try to make the joke about, like, you just not a good trip with it, but, like, of course, 93, you were probably, what, 2? So you would have had to buy it on secondary market anyways.
Oh, yeah. I think I paid like 75p for it. And that's just because I like Duff McKagan as a bassist.
Yeah, I can't tell you any, like, bassist that's a good bassist. Like, I'm sure I can name a bassist if I was just rambled off musicians, but...
Oh, most certainly you'd be able to. Surely.
Wasn't Dimebag Darrell a bassist?
No.
No?
No. Pantera's bassist, Rex Brown.
Wow.
Dimebag was the guitarist. Vinnie Paul was the drummer. Lemmy was a bassist.
Yeah, like, it should be clicking, but it's not.
Geezer Butler, Sabbath. John Paul Jones, Led Zeppelin.
With me and
Paul McCartney, the Beatles. I hate Paul McCartney, but...
Does Paul count as a bassist?
What, McCartney?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought him and John were co-lead guitars.
No, Paul McCartney's the bassist. You have Ringo Starr on drums, George Harrison and John Lennon on guitar, and Paul McCartney bass. And that horrible scouse noise he makes.
I thought Now that I'm thinking about it, I was thinking George was the bassist.
No, George Harrison did While My Guitar Gently Weeps.
Yeah, that's a good song.
Mm-hmm. There's the odd Beatles track I do like. The majority of it, though, I hate.
I don't know if I can continue on now.
I can't stand the Beatles. Or
Oh, I
Queen.
love them. But you're also from the Liverpool area. I'm not saying you're from Liverpool. I'm saying you're close to there.
No. Now, Manchester.
Yeah, close to
Yeah.
Liverpool.
No, big rivalry there.
Look, you can have a big rivalry and be in close proximity.
I mean, it's what, 45-minute drive?
That's all I'm saying is you're close
Which
proximity.
is nothing, which is nothing to you.
Right. I mean, I think I'm going to have a 34, 35-minute drive just to go watch How to Train Your Dragons later today.
Yeah. I mean, you look at Liverpool, who've got like City of Culture or something the other year. It's like, yeah, well done. You had the Beatles fucking what, 60 years ago now. Like, well done. Whereas I was going to say Manchester had, because we cut that in half. That was the 90s, but late 80s, 90s. We had the Happy Mondays, the Stone Roses, Joy Division, Oasis, James, Elbow, New Order.
I mean, that's like
Smith.
Oklahoma and country music in the 90s. It seemed like everybody coming out of, or all the big country stars were coming out of Oklahoma. We had Toby Keith, Garth Brooks, Reba McEntire, Blake Shelton. I know we had more. Of course, those are really the main ones. We got Carrie Underwood.
Yeah, it was like that. Manchester in the 90s. You had whatever was happening in London, so like Suede and Blur, and then Radiohead, but then everything else was just Manchester.
Isn't Catfish and the Bottlemen from Manchester?
They might be Liverpool. I'm not sure.
All I know is I watched them at a concert. I went to see Blue October, and they're the opening act. And he
Oh,
gets
they're
up there.
Welsh.
Yeah, he got up there. He had an English accent. I'm like, what?
They're from Llandudno, Llandudno in North Wales, which is about an hour and a bit's drive from us.
Not too
A
bad.
very different accent though.
Yes. Well, I mean, even like London to any other place, even like just a few miles outside of there, has that very different, more posh accent. Horrible posh accent there.
If you draw like an hour's drive around from where we live, you'll get what, Scouse is a different language. Yeah, in Wales they've got their own actual language, but also a very different accent. You could probably get to Birmingham, where everyone sounds like they've got a brain injury. You can get into Yorkshire, where everyone sounds like me, even though I'm not from Yorkshire. There's probably 3 different accents in Manchester.
See, I always thought you sounded more like either John Lennon or Ringo Starr.
Like a Stone Scouser.
Yeah. But also, like, you look at that history of the UK, they had so many smaller tribes that spoke their own language. They had so many different cultures, and now they're forced to one language, or as much of one language as they can. Whereas in the US, we have German, and we had German, English, French, and Spanish. That's like the 4 languages that came. So we all had that same similar start. So we don't have, to me, as big a variance. Like you get up to Boston, you get up to New York, there's a big difference. But
Well,
like Oklahoma, Texas, Arkansas, Missouri, we got the same sound, unfortunately.
yeah. Yeah, and then you get like Louisiana where there's the French bit and
Well, technically, Oklahoma is part of the Louisiana and had French influence. Technically,
yeah.
we've had the French flag, the Spanish flag, the colonial flag. We've actually had Texas flag, and then we have the modern flag. There's like 7 different flags that's flown over the state of Oklahoma because we had the Confederate flag.
Oh.
Very rich history that gets ignored.
Right, there we go. I was just drawing a complete blank on how to spell Oklahoma then.
Okay.
Oh, so, right. If you'd have shown me without the word Oklahoma on it, if you'd have shown me your state flag and asked me which state that was, I would not have got it.
I mean, what state would you have thought?
I have no idea. I'd have probably I probably wouldn't have been too far off.
Because, and if I remember, I'll superimpose a Oklahoma State flag on here for people who's watching who don't know what it looks like. That's if I remember.
Yeah, I might have been like there or thereabouts, but that would have properly I'd have struggled with that one.
Um, you should Google the original Oklahoma State flag and see how boring that was.
Really?
Yeah, we've had 2 state flags.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah. Without without knowing a lot of history, I wouldn't have got that one either.
Oh, I wouldn't have got that one if I didn't know. Because, like,
No.
I don't remember we're the 46th state of the union.
No. No. Without knowing that sort of that bit of history, I'd have never have got that.
I mean, that's like,
I certainly wouldn't have got the current one.
see, to me, the current one is a give me, or like it makes sense to me because it's I believe, a Choctaw shield, and
Yeah.
then a peace pipe, the blue background. I forgot what that means, but like to me, it makes sense for the state.
Yeah, it makes sense, but I wouldn't have got it. Obviously, right, I've got them all up now. I'd have got Alabama's because I know that. I've got
Arkansas is not a
California.
good
I
one.
know what that is. Yeah, it just says Arkansas in the middle of it.
Yeah, but it's got like a diamond thing, and
Yeah, I do like the diamond thing. It's very sort of welcome to Vegas.
right. Well, H, unless you got something else wrestling related, I think this is it for the H and J show for wristlocks, and we had our long talks today.
I definitely wouldn't have got South Carolina's. What is that flag? Palm tree and a crescent moon.
And this has been the segment of Flags with H. Signing off.
Oh, don't get me started. I've got like three unpackaged, well, still packaged flags at home that I bought.